think Australia's purpose is in this Orwellian scheme?
Well, Australia has come up a lot in my research over the years, and it's not surprised me at all that we are seeing the ever greater extremes of Big Brother and the surveillance state, and also the revelations about paedophilia and child abuse by famous names, because the same's happening in Britain, the same's happening in America. I've been uncovering this over the last 26 years, and what is unfolding in Australia is straight off the blueprint. But one of the things that has come up with regard to Australia quite a lot over the years, and this is fundamentally connected to child abuse and the paedophilia rings, and that is Satanism.
Yeah.
If people think that Satanism is some kind of myth and doesn't exist, well, they should have been standing by my side the last 26 years as I've been going around the world researching this, because Satanism is everywhere. And what happened when the British Empire unfolded was that the satanic rings that were behind the British Empire, the great British Empire, which for me was great in one way only, and that's the size of it, were exported all over the world. They were exported to the United States and Canada, they were exported to Australia, New Zealand, and so on. And so it does not surprise me again to see how many times Satanism has come up in my research regarding Australia. And the two are connected, child abuse and Satanism. Wherever you go, they are connected. In fact, most people in Australia, I would think, because of the massive publicity it got, will have heard about the extraordinary scale of scandal involving a BBC entertainer over here, called Jimmy Savile, who was a very close associate of the British royal family, again, no surprise, and of Margaret Thatcher. But what's also come out is that he was into Satanism and satanic ritual, etc. And they go together. And you'll find that will be the case in Australia, as it is everywhere else. And the point I would make, when people come to see my events in Australia soon in July, they'll see this on an extraordinary scale. The difference between the world that we see and the world that we think exists, what we think the world is, the forces that are directing the world, is so extraordinarily different to those forces that are actually directing the world and what they get up to. And what has happened since the Savile scandal and what's happened with Fiona and others in Australia is they have helped to give the public a re-evaluation of what is fantastic anymore. And like I say, you go into the United States, you'll see the same.
Yeah.
You'll see the big names connected to paedophilia. There is a reason for this, which I will be going into in the events. But the world is very, very different to the one we're told, and that's very important, because to hide the world as it is, we have to be persuaded to believe in a world that it isn't.
Yeah.
And this is why, a couple of books ago, the title was The Perception Deception, because that's what it is in the end. It's manipulating our perception of reality into a myopic sense of the world.
Yeah.
And then everything that's going on outside of that is dismissed by reflex action. But people are starting to wise up more than ever before.
Now, David, one thing I did want to ask you, one of my main things is the mainstream media. Sorry, it's raining and my office is in a shed. I don't know if you can hear it.
Well, sound effects, that's good.
Yeah. But we've got some intelligent, highly paid presenters on mainstream media, on the ABC, and they can hold really intelligent conversations. But as soon as it gets to one of these topics either 9/11, Port Arthur, or whatever it is, there's almost like a switch in the brain, and they are unable to even see the remotest logic.
What I'll be talking about in Australia in the first section is actually related to this. It's something I call the program.
Yes.
And look at the process of what we call life. Babies come out of the womb and into influence by, in terms of their perceptions, by parents who've been through the same process they're about to go through. Very, very quickly after entering this world, those children are sitting at a desk with an authority figure in front of them, telling them when they must be there, when they can leave, when they can eat, when they can go to the toilet, what's right, what's wrong, what is and what isn't. And then throughout their formative years and into their teenage years, they are given day after day after day the state's version of everything. They then go out into the world, the adult world, and they become doctors, journalists, lawyers, judges, corporate leaders, whatever. And they take with them, all of them that then go into these institutions, they take with them that core programming, that core perception download that they've been subjected to.
Yeah.
And what happens then is they underpin and support each other's version of that download. So, a journalist doing a story about health will not go to an alternative practitioner who's been studying this particular area for a decade. They'll go to a doctor and get the song sheet version. If they're talking about a story about reality, they won't come to people like me who've kind of studied it for 26 years and written extensively about it. They'll go to a scientist who'll give them the song sheet version.
Yeah.
And so there is a bubble. And part of the, and I think you absolutely rightly put it, in many, many cases, the switch in the brain is literally they cannot compute what is being said because it is completely at odds with their downloaded worldview. And what's fantastic now, and having been doing this for 26 years, I've seen when no one wanted to know, and I've seen it now. People are beginning to wise up.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing this time is
so maybe just wrap up on,
and it's massively moved on beyond anything I've done before.
So this show you're going to connect a huge number of more dots.
Staggering numbers of dots, because the more you understand, the more you can put the puzzle pieces together, and the more you can see which pieces are important and which pieces are merely interesting. So it becomes very much more concentrated in terms of the picture it shows.
David, thank you so much.
Real pleasure, Dee. Thank you.